Back to This Is Why We Stand. Joe Archino here. Thank you very much for listening. This has been such a special program having Randy Jurgensen with us. Randy, we've got a lot to squeeze into the second part, so let's pick right back up from where we left off.
Okay, so I'm in on the arrest of Lenny Bruce. He dies before we get to go to court, and I wrap up the Salt and Pepper case. And I'm rewarded with a gold shield. I am then sent up to Harlem. The precinct I'm sent up to becomes known as the Murder Factory. The 4-1 precinct is Fort Apache, and the 7-9 precinct is known in Brooklyn as To Live and Die in Bedford-Stuy. So as soon as I get up to this precinct. Here comes Sonny Grasso, and we are now working. We're now working together. We have an incident of where Sonny and I are set up, and he gets badly injured, which would force him off the job by 1975 or so. So as we're working. As we're working up there, Robin Moore, who wrote the Green Berets.
Great film.
Oh, yes. Robin Moore goes to narcotics. He writes a book. The book is called The French Connection. The book comes out, and one day I'm up in the precinct, and I get a call, and they're going to make a movie out of The French Connection, and Sonny was there before, but Sonny and I, we go over there. Now, in The French Connection, the first person that was going to be Gene Hackman was Robert Mitchum, and I can't think of the president of. He's a writer of the Daily News, but in any case, it winds up with Gene Hackman. So what we're doing is that we're going ahead and we're showing the actors, and we're working, and Sonny and I are working very, very hard to make these people detectives. So one day, while we're sitting on the Black Liberation Army, we get a call, and it's too long to go into, but the short version is that a cop is shot and would die, and he's shot in Minister Louis Farrakhan's Mosque number 7. I sustained some serious injuries responding to that. It's one of the darkest days that you can possibly think of what happens in the police department, and we are separated by color, we are separated by command, prisoners are let go, and all of that would be documented in the first book written by Sonny Grasso called Murder at the Harlem Mosque. Sonny writes the first book. Of course, we're partners. And the second book that would be written about that would be the book that I wrote called Circle of Six, of which we're partners. We work in the French Connection. Movie, and he's in the movie. I'm in the movie. We work. The next movie that we go to is the Godfather.
I think a film a few people might be familiar with.
Yeah. So the Godfather, the Godfather. We're working day and night, and I mean, we're really hanging out with Marlon Brando, going to eat, James Caan, Robert Duvall.
It's incredible, wow.
So there comes a scene where Al Pacino is going to kill Sollozzo, and he's going to kill the police captain that's in the restaurant. And Al Pacino goes to the restaurant, and of course he gets the gun, and the gun is up in the toilet, right? And that gun is Sonny Grasso's gun. Wow. And that gun is used there. In the meantime, I was a paratrooper, and paratroopers, in the beginning, we handled sub-Thompsons. They changed it over to a grease gun. So Coppola, you handle a sub-Thompson, yes, so forth and so on. And I am the guy that's in the toll booth here, and I kill James Caan. I shoot James Caan.
One of the most famous scenes in cinema history.
I became known as the man who killed Sonny Corleone. Coppola said to me that day, before it was in the can, Coppola said to me, "You're going to be, by women in America, one of the most hated
men in Hollywood." That was your nickname, right?
You killed him. Well, of course, this is again Sonny Grasso and myself. We would then go on to make a movie. We would then go on to make a movie called The 7-Ups, of which Sonny Grasso wrote that movie. And of course, I did a lot of the driving in the movie. And then along the way, as is in my book, Circle of Six, I worked with Joe Pistone, better known as Donnie Brasco. Very, very helpful in all of the cases.
In that case, especially, which you highlight in the book. Yes.
Exactly. And so Donnie, he writes a book, and it's called, Donnie Brasco, The Wise Guys. He writes this book. Now, the reason I bring these books up, Joe, maybe we can put an end on this.
Absolutely.
The reason that I bring these books up is that Sonny Grasso wrote this book about the cop that was killed in the mosque. He wrote this book in 1977, 1978, and we couldn't make a movie. We could not make a movie out of it. Joe Pistone wrote Donnie Brasco, and it took 8 years before they made a movie out of it. I wrote Circle of Six, right? And I wrote that in 2008. And I want to be here to tell you, Joe, this is the first time I'm releasing this, that the book has been optioned, and they are going to do this story. So all three of these books, it may have taken 7 years, 8 years, in some cases 15 years, but we are going to do. What are they going to do? They're going to do a doc. That is definitely, they're going to do a doc. After the doc, will they turn the doc into a docudrama, 4 hours on TV, or will they do a small, well, it's not so small, cable movie? So all of this, all of my life, all going through here, Sonny Grasso was a part of it. Sonny Grasso is the best man to the woman I married, Lynn, who's here in the studio. He's the godfather to my son, who's listening to this program now. So I'm honored. I'm pleased to express or to say to you, mainly about Sonny Grasso, a friend that I lost 7 or 8 years ago. And thank you, Joe, for giving me the opportunity, to say that.
Randy, it was a beautiful tribute, and for me, the honor is all mine. Getting the chance to come in here, and you have so much. I mean, we could sit here all day and continue to talk because you just have so much to share, and I loved learning so much about your incredible friend. And and for you to come and share that great news with us about Circle of Six, and especially Phil Cardillo, who was obviously the cop who was murdered, you worked tirelessly to try to work and bring that killer to justice. I'm so glad more people will be able to hear his name, hear the story and the circumstances behind it. We'd love to have you back on again to talk about it, Randy, because like I said, there's just so much, only so much we can get to in one program, but we wish you the best of luck with that, and we can't wait to hear more news about it as we move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.